Singapore just abolished school exam rankings, saying that learning is not a competition.
Here's a summary of the article.
Whether a child finishes first or last will no longer be indicated in primary and secondary school report books from next year in Singapore, a move which Education Minister Ong Ye Kung hopes will show students that learning is not a competition. The Ministry of Education said on Friday that the change is to allow each student to focus on his or her learning progress and discourage them from being overly concerned about comparisons. The MO said that teachers will continue to gather information about pupils' learning through discussions, homework and quizzes. Schools will use other ways like qualitative descriptors, in place of marks and grades, to evaluate pupils' progress at these two levels. For older students in primary schools and secondary schools, marks for each subject will be rounded off and presented as a whole number, without decimal points, to reduce the focus on academic scores. Parents will continue to receive information about their child's progress in school during parent-teacher meetings. In an address to some 1,700 school leaders earlier this week, Mr. Ong said, "I know that, coming in first or second, in class or level, has traditionally been a proud recognition of a student's achievement."
This post received a score of 48,860, with an upvote ratio of 86%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
They replaced the ranking system with a percentile score. So instead of a defined number of individuals they scored below, they just get 94% or 87% or 47% compared to peers.
So they didn't really abolish rankings. They are all still compared.
Greater than, notwithstanding, the report book should still contain some form of yardstick and information to allow students to judge their relative performance, and evaluate their strengths and weaknesses, yep. Then again, how do you measure how well you've done, if not by some sort of comparison?
Serious answer: your knowledge or abilities can be compared against external standards. This shifts focus to what you know, can do as an individual. Norm-referenced comparisons, e.g., percentiles, show how you rank among the group, but aren't all that informative when describing what you can do.
But the reason you grade on a curve is because the difficulty of an exam varies from year to year. It's impossible to maintain the exact same difficulty without effectively repeating the same questions, which actually still lessens the difficulty for anyone who practices past papers. Grading on a curve allows for fairer comparisons between years.
I'm going as maths right now, final exam in a week, and the exams have become noticeably harder since 2014 while the grade boundaries are constant if not higher. They adjust to the curve, but everyone is just getting better. It's very understandable as you don't want a ton of people acing the test.
If your goal is to weed out low performers and rank students, then the number of people who pass, fail a test matters. But the entire point of an assessment should be to actually assess what students learned in the class. Assuming the test is comprehensive and fair, a teacher's goal should be to get every student to ace your test.
The point of the exam is to, essentially, quantify how good a student is at a given subject. Thus, the exam board will put questions in that are easy enough for most to get, but also a certain number that are simply beyond the average student, while still utilizing skills that are covered in the syllabus, to differentiate between the cream and the crop. The teacher isn't there to facilitate this separation, the teacher is there to ensure that all of their students are the cream, at least as far as they can be, by teaching them the necessary skills, and preparing them for the exam. The two goals are not conflicting, since they are held by two different actors in the educational system.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by SMMRY.com, without any human intervention.